Good evening, and welcome to WMCT-TV's first ever nonprofit Neighbors Night. We are live from our television studio on Main Street, and I'm so excited to bring you this special broadcast. I'm Ryan Maliar, and I'm the Executive Director here at WMCT-TV. I'm also joined by my co-host, the hostess with the mostest, City Councilor Samantha Perlman. Welcome, Samantha.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm just really glad to be here. We have so many wonderful nonprofit groups in the city, and it's so exciting to bring them all together to celebrate their accomplishments and contributions to the city of Marlborough. But I have to ask you, Ryan, how did you come up with this idea?
Great question. Well, as I was looking at the calendar, I realized I was coming up on my 1-year anniversary as Executive Director here at the studio. And in that brief time, I've been able to tell the stories of many Marlborough groups, and I have been inspired by the missions of these awesome nonprofits. We are lucky as a community television studio that the residents and the city of Marlborough care as much as they do. It gives us great feel-good content to create and share.
And I gotta say, the timing is perfect. We are 1 week away from Thanksgiving, and I can't wait to learn more about these groups and share my gratitude to them for helping to shape the fabric of Marlborough with their missions of outreach, kindness, and generosity.
Now, I couldn't do this program without the support of our awesome production team at the studio, so a huge thanks to Mike, Matt, Alex, and Daglin, and our special volunteer for tonight, Brian. And I'd like to get the ball rolling by telling you about this nonprofit, WMCT-TV. Now, as a community television studio, we serve the city in many ways. Broadcasting government meetings is a big one, but we are also committed to telling local stories. So if you have a special event to promote or a story to tell, let us know. We are also here to give all residents access and training at our studio to create programs on their own. So if you ever thought about hosting your own talk show or podcast, we would be glad to show you the ropes. We have a lot of fun at the studio too. So even if you're camera shy, there are plenty of opportunities to get involved behind the scenes, operating a camera or helping us broadcast live sporting events. Well, now that you know a little bit about us, let's not waste any more time. The first nonprofit we are showcasing was unfortunately unable to be here tonight, but we were able to interview them earlier this week. Afterwards, we will be back in the studio live. So check out the Heroes Cup. Mike, roll that clip. I'd like to welcome to our nonprofit Neighbors Night a really awesome nonprofit you may have heard of, the Heroes Cup, and I'm so excited to have Mike Matris on the show. Hey, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So I'm, of course, familiar with the Heroes Cup. WMCT-TV has been there to cover many of your opening ceremonies and big games. For those who don't know about it, give us what it's all about in a nutshell.
So Heroes Cup is hosted here in Marlborough. It is the largest fire police military hockey tournament in the world, actually. We have over 120 teams of fire police or military that's required to be in the tournament. You have to be fire police or military to play. And they're competing not only on the ice, but they're competing off the ice to raise money for the charities of their own choice.
So they're picking their own charity. It gets into this big Heroes Cup pot, and then it gets divvied out to all these different groups. And
Correct.
What sort of charities are we talking about here that they end up supporting?
So the charities, all of our teams select their own charities. It could be plan for a fallen firefighter. It could be for kids and disabilities in sports, like one of our teams plays for kids with cancer through One Mission. These organizations or our military groups are raising money for veteran suicide awareness. So all these organizations that are selected by our fire, police, or military either impact them or it's something they're passionate about. So whatever the case is, we want to give them the platform to raise a lot of money. The Heroes Cup is like the Boston Marathon of events for hockey playing first responders, where it's one event that benefits so many different organizations.
Now, you talk about raising money. Tell me about some of the numbers, because you have brought in some really terrific funds.
Yeah, so every year, just through the tournament, we raise well over north of $500,000. I think this year we were around $600,000 that we raised, and that money went out to about 98 different charities this year.
Wow. Now, what was your inspiration to form this to begin with?
Yeah, so the Heroes Cup was started because of my marathon efforts, I was just having a single game to raise money for running the Boston Marathon for the Last Call Foundation. And I just wanted to have Sudbury Fire, played Framingham Fire, and a quick game at the New England Sports Center. But we got a lot of feedback and a lot of requests about the event that people want to learn more. How can they get involved? Yeah. Well, Wes Tuttle, anybody from Marlborough knows Wes Tuttle's name, told me, why don't you make this a tournament? And my response to him was, well, Wes, I don't know anything about running a tournament. He's like, you bring me the teams, I'll run a tournament for you. So Wes is honestly the reason the Heroes Cup was born, because there was a need, and we filled that need in the sense of a platform for guys to raise money for the charities they're passionate about. Every fire police department has their own charity, has their funds that they try and raise money and go through. So now if you can give them the platform to raise money regularly every year, that's a huge need. Meanwhile, guys are having a weekend away, a time with the guys. That serves as a mental health initiative where they kind of need that brotherhood. They need to check in with each other. So it kind of checked all boxes, and honestly, Wes made it very easy for me to run a tournament.
When's the big tournament happen every year?
We now, after COVID, we moved it to June. Initially, it was in April, but we moved it to June because of COVID. We wanted to have everything outside that wasn't on the ice, and so that timeline actually has been really fun because what it's done is really amped up the outdoor barbecue environment, the off-ice environment.
It's not just a game, it is a full event. It's an experience.
Oh yeah, it's I describe it as like a little bit of like a Jimmy Buffett concert all weekend long. I mean, I think last year we had one of our teams that brought a motorhome in, was tailgating, had a DJ brought in, they had lights at night. It looked like a nightclub out there at night. And these guys are just out there having fun.
And it's not just one game, it's a series of games that happen.
Yeah, so every team will have to play 5 games over the course of the weekend.
Wow.
And that's on top of whatever else they're doing off the ice. So it's a very physically and mentally taxing weekend for these guys. So
what's the best location for people to keep up to date with everything that's going on, make sure to mark these dates on their calendar?
Yep, so our social media feeds are most up to date and updated all the time. Website, heroescuphockey.com or heroescupfoundation.org are 2 platforms that give everybody the most information they need.
Awesome. And other than hockey, I know you do some other fundraisers throughout the year.
Yep, so we have a golf tournament in October that is over at Nishotic Country Club in Concord, and that's a very well-attended event. That's to raise money for our first responders. That's a lot of our accountants, our lawyers, our people that are big advocates for the organization play in that event, and the event is very well attended. It raises quite a bit of funds. We also run a stair climb with the Bruins at the Garden in February, where people have the opportunity to run up and down the stairs in the Garden, run through the Hall of Fame. It's a pretty cool tour around the Garden, and we do that to raise money for fire and police as well.
Well, thanks for joining us this evening, Mike, and of course WMCT-TV will be there going forward to help support you. And
you guys are always there. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're back. That's right. We are live here from WMCT-TV in the heart of Marlborough, Massachusetts. And one of the best nonprofits that the city has to offer is from the city itself. And I'm talking about the Mayor's Charity Relief Fund. I'm so happy to be joined today by our awesome mayor, Mayor Arthur Vigent, and he has some pals along with him, Meredith Harris, Trish Bernard, and Bob Kays. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, Ryan.
So, Meredith, can you tell me a little bit about the Mayor's Charity Relief Fund and how it serves the city?
Absolutely. So the Mayor's Charity Relief Fund was started in 1960 by Mayor Haddad. So it's been around for some time, but the intention of the fund is to make sure that individuals and families in Marlborough, when there's an emergency need, that there's funds available to help, whether it's a displacement from a fire or if there's a senior that is in need of relief in terms of their electricity or something like that. If they need help, that's what the fund is intended to do.
How has the fund been used in recent years, especially during the pandemic? I'm sure it was used to a great extent.
A lot of food insecurity and utility bills, and I expect we'll be getting a lot of that this year with the high rates.
Now, Mr. Mayor, perhaps you can tell me how people can contribute to this fund and maybe why they should.
No, it's really a great fund that the city set up many, many years ago, and we can't use city funds for that. So this is an opportunity for people to contribute. We receive checks in our office for the off years, and when it starts getting cold once in a while, we're going to check in from one of the local corporations to contribute toward the fund. We obviously missed the year with COVID for the Mayor's Charity Fund. It was canceled 3 days in advance?
Correct.
3 days before we were having the event. So we skipped that year, but we had people that contributed that year, the sponsors, the vendors, everyone else that contributed, there was only one group that asked for their check back.
Wow.
Everyone else left it in there and we were able to get through, so it was fantastic. But we use it, like they said, for people that have some needs, and we try to get them through a tough period by paying a rent for them or paying an electric bill for them. There's been some medical bills that we picked up along the way. We try to keep it limited only because there's only so much money in the fund.
Right.
You know, it doesn't get replenished every week. It's really every 2 years for the most part.
Okay, well, my first question, this is a two-parter. If you might be in need of these types of funds, how do you go about requesting them?
You go up to our Human Services Department, and Nilsa up there goes through the process, fills out an application with you. It comes down and lands on Tricia's desk, and once it gets past her desk, I get the final say and sign off. And usually by that time, obviously, it's been vetted for people that really have needs. Bob's been great, and he's been running this charity event for, I don't know, 30 years
So we're
now?
talking about the ball now.
Yeah,
We're talking about
well, the ball that funds the Mayor's Charity Fund, because that's 95% of the source of the revenue is from the Mayor's Charity Ball.
Now, I haven't been able to go to the ball, but it's a black tie affair. We're talking shrimp on a platter. Is it a nice?
Not black tie, but
Not
shrimp
black,
on a
but shrimp
platter.
on a platter. Are we going to have the ball this year?
We're going to have it in
In the
March
spring.
or April.
Yeah,
Okay,
spring
so
of
keep your
23.
lookout for it, for when those dates get posted, right, Meredith?
And Ryan, it's a great event. It's a lot of folks that come together from the community, and it's actually kind of like a mini taste of Marlborough, where all the restaurants come together, and there's different people that donate things, and there's a silent auction, and it's really quite the event.
Now,
So you'll have to make sure
I
to
hear
come.
you donate something pretty interesting to the auction. Are we going to get an Adirondack chair this year?
If I get a little time off, we'll make one or two Adirondack chairs. One year we made little ones for little kids.
That's awesome.
I made a couple large ones, so it's always fun to do that. Gives me some downtime.
And at the last one, I think he got up and played a little guitar. Does anybody remember that?
Oh, so lots of awesome things to look forward to. So keep your eye out looking for the mayor's ball, right?
Yes.
And of course, you can always donate to the charity fund. How can you
Absolutely.
make a donation? Swing by?
Just make the check out to the city of Marlborough, but notation would be the Mayor's Charity Ball, and we'll make sure it goes to the right place.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much. Great idea.
My pleasure. And now I think we have someone over on our other set with another nonprofit group. Take it away, Samantha.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here with St. Vincent De Paul, with Maureen Police and Jackie Tolan. Thank you so much. Can you tell me a little bit about the organization?
Sure. We are a Catholic organization, and in the Marlborough area, we have two conferences, which are the groups that meet through St. Vincent de Paul. And principally, our work is to help those in need and those that are really marginal in society and have a myriad of needs. One thing that distinguishes our work in the Marlborough area through St. Vincent de Paul is that we do home visits. So that means with each call that we get from the person that calls that is considered a friend, we do visit that person either in their home, which is primarily what we like to do, or in a public place to sit and chat. Really, our work is spiritual and it can be material, but our aim is to address the needs of the person that calls that friend, to primarily show compassion and love in a Christ-like way. And so as a team, we visit, we listen, we find out needs that might be priority things that need to be addressed, and we go from there. Really, our work is limitless. We don't have any set boundaries. Certainly with funds, we have boundaries, but in terms of things that our conference is willing to address, we are pretty wide open.
Sure, thank you. We've helped friends with emergency housing, with food needs, utility. We also have what we call comfort packs, where We have emergency staples, food, hygiene items that we can provide for someone in need during a weekend when maybe other resources are not open. We also assist with helping those in need connect with other resources. You know, there might be times where we're not able to help, but we can work with friends and connect them with other organizations to fill their need. We also have funds available for certain medical needs, for instance, eyeglasses or dental work, or appointments with doctors. So those are just a sampling of what we can do. And, you know, it could be a need that is very simple and could be done immediately, or it could be maybe a long-term need that we would certainly follow and make sure that the need is fulfilled.
Well, we're so appreciative, and what an array of activities and support that you provide for people in the area. And how would someone get involved, either as a volunteer on one side, and also if someone needed help, how would they reach out to all of you?
Yes, you could definitely contact the church, which is St. Matthias or Immaculate Conception, if you have an interest in serving either as a member or an associate member. An associate member might be someone that will help us with translation, or might help us in our Friends of the Poor walk, which is our in-way to begin to tell you that some of the highlights of what our conferences do in the Marlborough community. One of our biggest and our best fundraiser is the Friends of the Poor walk that is held usually at the end of September annually, and it's open to the community to register and walk with us to broaden awareness of the needs in our community. And Jackie had mentioned the comfort packs as another highlight of what we have done and what we continue to do for emergency weekend needs, if need be. And those packs are available for anyone in the Marlborough community. So we've made other agencies aware that they're available, police, fire, and other nonprofits, that they give us a call and we deliver them. Other things that we have done is, a few years ago, we had a Sandwiches on Saturday program.
Oh,
and
wow.
That was initiated out of a need from a group of homeless people that had come to us and just said, you know, we have this blip in terms of that one noontime meal on Saturday. And so not only St. Vincent De Paul, but a few other agencies, the Lions Club, got together after we did some service, and each Saturday, about 30 sandwiches with chips and a drink were delivered, and we served them right out in Union Square out in front of the church.
That's amazing to
Yeah.
hear. We're so appreciative. And I know you gave me a phone number that I want to make sure everyone knows if they want to get in touch with you all, 978-493-3037.
Thank
you so much for being
Yeah,
here. We
and
so
I just would
appreciate
like
it.
to say that in the words of St. Vincent de Paul, who is our society patron, no work of charity is too little or too big for us, and that we really are very inventive when it comes to listening to people's needs and being there for them.
Well, thank you so much for all of the
Thank
work
you.
that you do. We're going to head it back to Ryan to see what's
Sure.
next.
That's right, they keep rolling in. We have so many awesome nonprofits that we've already addressed and many more ahead of us. Right now we have Marlborough Sons of Italy. We have Daniel Caruso, who's the president, and Laura Di Tommaso Brizette, our secretary. And what's the name of your lodge? The Bandera?
Bandieri in Korea.
Pretty cool.
I've been practicing for the day.
Excellent. So for those who don't know, what is the Sons of Italy? It has a social aspect, but it also has an aspect of giving to the community as well.
Right. Well, to start out as the actual history of the Sons of Italy, the national organization was organized in 1905, and basically their mission statement was to they wanted to promote national education. They wanted to promote charitable fundraising, and they wanted to enrich Italian culture. And of course, they wanted to sort of stop the discrimination against the Italian people back then.
Right, when you think of all the immigration that came into America, there was so much discrimination, and groups like Sons of Italy have turned that around and really shown a positive light.
Exactly, and so this is why basically the Sons of Italy was started, and that was the national organization, and then of course the Massachusetts Grand Lodge started in 1914, and we were established, the Marlborough Lodge, in 1914 too. As well. So we've had, you know, a long...
You've got roots here.
We do, a long history here from starting from a group of young men who decided to start the lodge, and we've been here ever since.
What sort of things do you do?
Just let me just one little thing
sure,
first.
Sure.
Just so nobody thinks we're not up in the times. The national organization is in the process of changing our names to the Sons and Daughters of Italy. We do have acknowledged that maybe we were a little behind on that, so that has in the process, just so everybody understands.
You'll get there.
We're getting there. Right now, particularly in Marlborough, we're involved. Matter of fact, just 2 nights ago, we had our November meeting, and we've been involved with the Sweats for Vets, which is started, you know, by Mark Vidal here in Marlborough, and we've had that for the last 10 years. We've been very involved in that. We just had our successful rapping marathon the other night. That was one of the things we always do. The other things we've been involved in is we've had scholarships, which is our most favorite thing to do every year. And even during the pandemic, we had a scholarship presentation in the middle of the street in front of one of my members' houses, because no one was going to stop us from giving those scholarships out that year. Matter of fact, the mayor joined us that time too, so we had a distance scholarship presentation. We give out roughly three $1,000 scholarships every year. That's open to high schools in the area, and we get those names and stuff from the high school guidance counselors. We've also done we've done everything from sponsoring a Babe Ruth team here in Marlborough. We've got a planter on Main Street with our organization's name on it. Am I forgetting anything else?
Well, we provide funds for the less fortunate people in the city. We, you know, just whatever, if we're called upon to do something, certainly we jump on it.
We just had a membership drive, and we have some new members, and already one of the members came up with a possible new function for us the other night, asked me, do we ever do certain things? And I said, well, now that you've asked, it's possible we're going to do that. So we're looking for new ideas and new members. We've been really looking for new members now. And the good or bad news, depending how you look at it, is you no longer have to be of Italian descent to be a member. We're now accepting members that are not, that just want to be there to help the communities like we do, and also are interested maybe in promoting the Italian culture and keeping it going here in Marlborough.
Now, I know you have a lot of fun along the way, too. One of the recent fundraisers I think you did was a spaghetti dinner. Pretty typical for you guys?
Pretty good. Pretty good fundraiser, too.
Awesome.
Everybody has a lot of fun at those things. It's one of our major fundraisers every year. We have that in the fall, and then in the springtime, summertime, depending on what happens, we try to have another one. That may be a chicken barbecue, going back to one of those. We haven't had that in a while. And those are what helps to fuel the scholarships to a great extent. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's just, you know, you get 150 Italians in one place. It's a lot of fun no matter what's going on, so, yeah.
It sounds like a terrific organization. You bring a lot of life and joy and appreciation for Italian culture, and you combine it with philanthropic endeavors. It's really terrific. So where can people find more information and get involved to attend an upcoming meeting?
Well, we're a little bit behind in our technical skills. We do have a Facebook page. If you look up the Marlborough Sons video, it'll show up. And hopefully with a little bit of input from maybe some new members, we may be getting up a little more to speed on things like Instagram and other things.
So let's recruit some young members too. Anyone who's in there who's up to date with Twitter and Instagram. This organization can use you to get out their wonderful message.
And I will be glad to give out my own phone number if you want to call right now.
Sure.
It's 508-439-0927. I don't mind if that phone's ringing off the hook, because we need new members, we want more participation, and we'd love to have anybody interested in helping us keep the organization alive and keeping the Italian culture alive and helping further the interest of the Marlborough community.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add on?
No, it's just that it's a great organization. We have other lodges in the area, and it's a good social and cultural and recreational organization too, that has many, sorts of like bocce tournaments and, things like that too.
And it's special being a part of a much larger organization too. You get support and access to so many other groups all over Massachusetts, and you get to know what they're up to as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, thank you both for joining us on our first ever nonprofit Neighbors Night. Hey, Samantha, who do you have over there? It looks like we have Kits for Kids.
Yes, we do. We are here with Kits for Kids. I'm so excited to be here with Heather and Jay Johnston. And you're also wearing the sweatshirts, repping the organization. Tell us a little bit about what the organization is and what it does.
Hi, Samantha. So we are a nonprofit organization started here in Marlborough in 2006. And we started our organization because I rented out an apartment to a single mother with 2 children. And I would go there to collect rent and check on them and notice that the children had no furniture, no hygiene, and the mother always paid rent on time. So I was like, holy cow, this is going on right underneath my roof. So it just changed the way that I looked at things. So Jay and I started making emergency kits for children. And
we started by donating them to other charities because we were just a couple who was making these kits.
Right.
So we started by just donating to other charities, and after a couple of years, we realized that there was a big need around here, around Marlborough, around Hudson. So we decided to form this nonprofit organization, and we did that in 2018. We got our 501c3, and
Congrats, that's a big deal.
since then, we've just been growing and trying to help as many children as we can.
Yeah, well, that's really great to hear. And I'm so curious, like, how can someone get involved? How many volunteers do you have right now?
So we have a group of about 10 or so volunteers. We're a completely 100% volunteer organization. And, people reach out and they want to help. So we have a group of seniors who knit for us.
Oh, wow.
And we like to put a hand knitted item in every kit because something that's been handmade is special. No matter, where it's coming from, something handmade special to a child who, may not have anything at all.
Wow, I got chills, I think, from that one. That was really, really wonderful to hear. And the organization just seems like it's doing so much.
yes.
So how would someone, learn more information? Do you have a website? Where would be the best place for someone to learn more?
So we do have a website. We have kitsforkids.org, all spelled out. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/buildkitsforkids. If anyone wants to kind of put a kit together themselves, we're having a very large kit building event at the Apex Center on November 30th, which is a Wednesday in a couple of weeks. It's open to the public. We're going to be building between 200 and 300 kits that night.
Oh my gosh.
With the majority of them are going to be going to community covered here in town to go out to area teenagers.
Oh wow, and what time is that?
It's going to be at 6 o'clock on November 30th.
All right, 6 o'clock on November 30th. We know where we're gonna be.
So a lot of our kits, they have sensory items in them. They have stuffed animals. Like Jay was saying, we wanted to get the community involved with making handmade items. And so it just shows that they're assembled with love. So when a child receives one of these kits and they're going through a difficult time in their life, they're going through a transition that's, they know that there are people out there that actually care and love them. So, we put a stuffed animal in them and socks and hygiene. So the kits are, very special when the child receives them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm just so impressed with all of the work that you're doing and getting that nonprofit status in 2018. Is there anything else you'd like folks who are learning about the organization to know?
I just want to thank everyone in Marlborough
Yes.
for constantly supporting us
Yes.
and what we're doing, because we do this to try to give back to this community and build it up.
Yes,
So
and with all the support in Marlborough, we were able to move out of the 8 storage units that we were working out of into a new distribution and facility in Hudson, which we're very excited about. So we don't have to wear mittens and gloves and
Oh, no.
So, and that's with everybody here supporting us, and we've been able to help over 20,000 children.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing. I have
Thank
chills
you.
again. Okay, I'm gonna need mittens and scarves because I'm getting so many chills. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's such a pleasure to know you, and thank you for all the work that you're doing.
Thank you,
Back to you,
Samantha.
Ryan. We're ready to see what other organizations are out there.
Samantha, I told you this evening was going to be inspirational. I'm getting chills over here too. These organizations just keep getting better. And I'm really happy to have on the show next Rich Police, and his organization is called Heart Sounds US. Now, I became familiar with Rich because he does a podcast here, which we're really excited to have and broadcast on WMCT-TV. But we're not here to talk about the podcast, but get in touch if you'd like to make your own. Rich, tell me about Heart Sounds and how it all got started.
Thanks, Ryan, so much for having me here. Heart Sounds really brought together about 10 years worth of projects that we were doing primarily in Uganda and Romania. And some of those things were being supported by people right here in Marlborough. So in 21, January 21, we became a 501c3 corporation and founded Heart Sounds US. The board for Heart Sounds US is actually located all around the country and also in the Netherlands and Uganda itself. We focus on health and education. So some of the projects that we do include, we support a school for girls, for vulnerable girls in the western part of Uganda, very poor part of Uganda, where children, especially girls, can only get to about 4th grade education.
Wow.
So the school that we helped found there, by the way, supported by the Knights of Columbus here in Marlborough, by the Lions Club, both in Marlborough and across the state, and also by the Masons here in Marlborough.
I love hearing about all this crossover between all these different organizations.
It was been terrific, and Heart Sounds wouldn't exist without that. So that first project, we have a school for girls, about 50 girls who are taken out of that vulnerable situation, who can live at the school, learn a trade there in Uganda. The biggest trades for women are sewing and knitting. So we have sewing and knitting classes, hairdressing, and we're actually looking at things like carpentry and other things like that. Close by in Kabale, Uganda, just a few miles from the school, we help support a health clinic. The health system, as you might guess, in Uganda, as it is in many countries, is very, very unstructured, very difficult to get care. So Heart Sounds supports, now we don't run the projects, but we support projects that, in the health clinic. For example, we do diabetes screening, we do hypertension screening. We are doing different kinds of things, including we want to open a prenatal clinic.
Wow.
Third project that we work on right now is we're helping develop a school in the northern part of Uganda. For those of you who are familiar with the geography of Uganda and its history, Uganda had a civil war. The civil war went on for 20 years. During that time, not only were many people killed, but the education system virtually disintegrated. And so what we're helping to do is start a secondary school there in a place called Paibona. And the fourth project, which was the premier project for Heart Sounds, is a program for women who are recovering from a mental illness. And they actually make a paper-based jewelry. It's really fascinating to see. If you like, you can take a look at that process on our website, heartsoundsus.org. Where you see the women making a paper-based jewelry. We sell it here. Actually, we're going to be in Waltham on Saturday at the Waltham Community Farms, and we sell those products, and we send the money back to Uganda.
Wow. So if you're just watching and people are tuning in for the first time and hearing about this, how can they get involved? Are you just looking for straight up donations, or are there other activities and ways people can support the organization?
Well, I think they're both. Certainly donations are nice.
Sure.
But we'd love to have people, maybe somebody who'd like to get involved with us on our board or in an advisory capacity. Also, maybe help us with the marketplaces that we do. After the pandemic, during the pandemic, we really couldn't get out there in the community. Now we're getting back out there. We sent about $10,000 back to Uganda to these women during 2019. In 2020 and 21, we couldn't send anything. So we're now starting to get back there. So certainly if somebody'd like to think about volunteering a couple hours in the local markets, craft fairs, things like that, we would love to see them.
Have you had the opportunity to go to Uganda yourself and see this work in action?
I actually have been to Uganda about 12 times.
Wow.
And in 2019 was my last trip. Sadly, the pandemic put a hold on that. And I should also mention the health conditions in Uganda are pretty tough right now. There's an Ebola outbreak. So I and other people are not able to go right now. We're hoping to be able to get back there soon. But Uganda's a beautiful country, and they're very beautiful people. I describe it as enormous beauty and enormous poverty at the same time. But a spectacular place. Many of the people there are my friends and my family.
One more time, what's the website? How can we find you?
The website is heartsoundsus.org, heartsoundsus.org. You can also email me at rich@heartsoundsus.org.
Rich, thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Excellent. Samantha, who do you have over there?
Hello, hello. I am here with Doug Peck from Better Day Adult Social Day Program. Doug, tell me a little bit about the organization and its history.
Hi, well, thank you for having us. We're a social day program, which means we deal with people with mild cognitive impairment or with Alzheimer's or some form of dementia. They come, we have a beautiful, newly redecorated ranch house in a neighborhood, so it doesn't feel like they're going into a large facility. We have as many as 14 guests, but it's very almost one-on-one type of relationship. They come 8:30 to 4:30. People don't know, Alzheimer's is still a very prevalent disease in Massachusetts. We have 130,000 people in Mass with some form of dementia. And so people either are staying at home where their caregiver's taking care of them, or they're going to an assisted living facility that specializes in memory care. We're sort of the in-between for that. So we provide a lot of social and emotional support for people and a lot of respite support for those caregivers that are working full-time with them.
Wow, well, we really appreciate that work, and I didn't even know that stat about how many people are, in Massachusetts alone. So what was it like during the pandemic? How did your organization have to shift? And I know you're a board member. What was that like?
Yeah, it was difficult. They did a very, very good job, and we still are testing everybody, wearing masks where necessary. But fortunately, all of our guests are vaccinated. All of our staff are vaccinated. We're just very careful about doing that. But we did slow down during the pandemic, but we're back to sort of normal right now. It's nice. We have a very big landscape yard that's all fenced in, so we spend a lot of time outside.
Oh, that's great.
It's a very social program. What happens with people when they're staying at home is they get very isolated.
Right.
They don't want to go out and see people, and that has physical ramifications to them. Here, we do social games, we do music therapy, we have home-cooked meals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
the works.
To tell you the truth, if I'm not having a good day, I will go over to Better Day. It always cheers me up because the people there they really do appreciate it, and the staff is a wonderful staff that we have over there.
That's so great. How many staff are involved, and what is the size, I guess, of the facility overall?
Again, it's like a small ranch house with a really big yard. We're right on Reservoir Street, so we're right near the beach. We actually have beach access.
Oh, that's great.
In the summer. This weather has been great for people. We have a big deck that we're out on, so there's a lot of physical activities. We play cornhole. You'll see guys that are there that are throwing a ball to each other, playing catch, or just walking around. We do a lot of gardening work. We grow a lot of plants there.
Wow.
So it's a really interesting place to be.
Yeah,
really nice.
no, I'm so glad that you're sort of describing the breadth of what's happening there. And, if somebody wants to help support your organization, what should they do? Where can they find more information?
They can go on our website. We have a very good website. It's betterdayprogram.org. And there's all the information there. We are starting a capital campaign we own the house and we're trying to, pay it off. We've said we will start a capital campaign and people can donate right on the site. We were awarded a Cummings grant last year.
Oh, congratulations. That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's $25,000 a year for 4 years. So we're also able to offer some financial assistance to folks, which is part of the grant. And the grant also helped build a fence around. So It's a good space for people to be in outside, not just inside all the time. It's very much like you're coming to a very comfortable home rather than going into a facility. If you've seen a lot of the facilities, as nice as they are, it still feels like a facility.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Doug, and representing Better Day. We are just so lucky to have you, and I'm going to throw it back to Ryan.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, that's right. We are back. We were just chatting over here, and this is one of the organizations that WMCT-TV has been lucky to cover a few of the events that you've done, and I hope to support you all going forward as well. I'm talking about the GFWC Marlborough Junior Women's Club. We have Justine Craven-Getz, Kathleen Gano, and Teresa Frias. So what is the Junior Women's Club, and how do you function in Marlborough?
Well, we are the Marlborough Junior Women's. We have been around since the 1960s, right? We are 1964. We're about to almost celebrate 60 years of helping the community. We are part of the Greater Federation of Women's Clubs.
That's with the GFWC.
Yes.
The General Federation.
Yes. Yes, and they have been around since the 1800s, right? So you want to add a little more of that?
So the General Federation of Women's Clubs is the oldest women's nonprofit organization, and we were known for establishing 75% of the public's libraries, so very, very near and dear to our hearts. We are the original do-gooders, the suffragists, the fighting for voters' rights, and we still stand by that. We
Votes
are
for women.
We are women, yes. Yes, so there's a long history of women who have been part of this organization that have stayed with us. We are 50 women strong at the moment, and it's part of our tribe and our village, and we're out there just accomplishing things every day.
Tell me about some of the things you've accomplished. Well, I'll start off with one of my favorite events that you do every year, and it's right before prom season.
Yes.
You do this wonderful event where girls who are attending prom, who might not have access to new dresses, can go.
Prom is expensive.
Prom is expensive. You're telling me.
Yes, so it's called the Princess Boutique. We have it every year in March. We support anywhere from 200 to 250 girls. They get a free dress, they get a free purse, they get free shoes,
and they
get
feel
jewelry.
pampered along the way. They get a personal shopper who leads them
do.
through the whole experience. It's fabulous.
It's an amazing day, and it's an amazing day because we also bring in non-members, so it's a chance for women to come in and have a great day of service with us. From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., we pull out about 2,000 dresses, and it is just an amazing day for everyone involved.
What events do you have coming up that people can join you for?
Well, we also have coming up on November 30th, we have our shopping boutique at the Marlborough Country Club, which will actually support the Princess Boutique.
Okay.
So that's our vendor night. We also will do in the spring, we will do trivia night on April 1st is our big night that we do that as well. We have a health fair coming up on January at the Apex Center. And then many other things that we do throughout the year, whether it's donations to the schools, sponsoring scholarships, or finding people in need and helping them along the way.
You said that it's a tribe. It feels like it's a family. What do you have regular occurring meetings, and what's the vibe?
We do. So we meet the first Tuesday of every month. Right now, our next meeting will be December 6th at the Apex. It's a bit of a fun meeting, a little bit of a festive for December. We review our past events that we've done the month before when we just did stuff for Veterans Day, as well as anything that's coming forward. So it's a great evening, and it's just once a month.
And how can people get involved? Where are you're passing it over to this is Kathleen's turn to shine, of course. Kathleen's going to give us the details, the website, the Facebook.
We love to meet new women all the time, so come to one of our meetings. We meet on Tuesday evenings, the first Tuesday of the month. Our next meeting is December 6th, and that is definitely a fun meeting. You can find us on our website at the GFWC Marlborough Junior Women's Club, or you can find us on Facebook, which is Facebook.com/Marlborough Juniors. So either of those places.
What's it like being a part of an organization that's such a sorority, that has such a history based on women's rights and empowerment? Do you bring that into this century?
We do, and we also have the Juniorettes, which is a small group of young girls that we are empowering, and we're teaching them leadership and all kinds of skills. So it's amazing as mothers and women in the community that we are able to give back and flourish the next generation.
Yeah, Teresa was actually part of that generational swap.
So yes, I am a second generation member. My mother was very active once the club started and began in the 60s and 70s. And my daughter, for a short time, when she was living in the city, was a third generation Marlborough Junior. So that was really exciting to have the legacy continue and to give back to the community that we've been so, intertwined with all our lives.
Yeah. Do any of you have any favorite events that you've put on or special memories from your time being a part of this awesome organization that you could share?
I definitely have to say I love Halloween, and we just did Trunk or Treat in
That's
October,
right, Trunk or
which was
Treat.
amazing, and the Horribles Parade to be part of every year. Those are just some of the ones, and the Princess Boutique. That's always a fun one as well.
Right. And any favorite moments from you?
I like our women's health events.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So we've done a health fair. We're working on a self-care fair this year just to support women. The cool thing about it is the byproduct of all the networking that happens. Both women that are working or at-home moms, or it doesn't matter what you do for a living. We all contribute. So it's a good sisterhood.
Women helping women and helping this wonderful city that we're in continue to thrive and flourish as well.
That's right.
It's awesome. Do you have any final words you'd like to leave our audience with?
So just for anyone who wants to find a new group to belong to, we are always looking for new members, and we are collaborating with other service organizations within the community, currently working with Lions Club, Rotary, Masons, Eagles, who am I missing? The Moose. I think there's 6 of us that are working to bring back what used to be known as a festival in town, for those of you who've been around for a while, but we're promoting it as Family Fun Festival, and that's going to be happening in spring, I believe the first Sunday in May. So mark your calendars, get it on there. People always say the city needs to bring it back. Well, we are the city, and we're bringing it back.
I love to hear that. Thank you so much for joining us on our first ever nonprofit Neighbors Night. I hope we can continue doing this year after year, and just call WMCT-TV whenever you have one of these fabulous events to produce. That's what we're here for, to continue supporting nonprofits just like you.
Thank you for having us.
Much. Samantha, I know you have another group over there. Let's take it away.
Hello, we are back here. I'm here with Sharon and Stephen Levy from the Marlborough Lions Club. Tell me about the organization and what you all are up to.
Well, the Lions Club can probably best be summed up by our motto, we serve.
Exactly. As Sharon said, it's been said Lions Club is probably the best kept secret in the world, which is amazing because we actually are the world's largest service organization with 1.4 million members worldwide. We're in over 207 countries. We have 48,000 Lions Clubs around the world. And so it gives us an opportunity. Basically, we're just people who are passionate about serving our community to make the world a better place, serving with kindness. So, we do things at the local level and at the national level as well. On the national level, or international actually, some of the biggest things we do, there's 5 global causes we're known for, which are vision, hunger, diabetes, childhood cancer, and the environment. And probably the best thing we're known for is vision. We collect eyeglasses; those get recycled and sent to third world countries to help with vision problems there. We have a Massachusetts nonprofit, Mass Lions Eye Research, and through that we've raised $40 million to fund research to cure and prevent blindness around the world. So, those are our national causes. I'm going to let Sharon talk a little bit more about some of the local things that we've done.
Well, I wanted to bring up some of the things that we've done over the last 12 months. Like we've given $2,000 scholarships to college-bound high school kids. We put on a father-daughter dance every year. We participate in the back-to-school backpack program. We provide Christmas gifts for the underprivileged kids. We assisted the Marlborough Recreation Department with the movies in the park, and we assisted Hudson Rec Department with Rec Fest. Right now, we're holding a peace poster contest and a speech contest for students in the middle school and the high school. If the winner of our contest goes on to the district level, and then they compete in the state level. We've assembled over 100 books and catalogs at the National Braille Press in Boston. We participated in the St. Vincent De Paul Friends of the Poor Walk. We held 2 sessions of Couch to 5K where we're getting anyone who wants to learn to run. It's a 10-week program, and at the end of the 10 weeks, they run a 5K. We help out at Our Father's Table. We participated in the Earth Day cleanup. We collect eyeglasses and distribute, like Stephen said, to other countries. Those are just some of the things that we do.
A few of the things. So,
I was going to say, it might have been shorter just to say, what don't you do?
So, as you probably heard from some of the other people being interviewed, we work with other clubs. Again, it's all about service. It doesn't matter whether it's a Lions project or any other project. It's just anywhere. It's like I said, our motto is we serve, and it's been said, where there's a need, there's a lion. So, any club, any service opportunity, that's what we're about. And so we're always looking for people to come join us. Anyone who's passionate about service, about helping their community, who wants to make Marlborough a better place. And we actually serve Marlborough and Hudson.
Oh, that's great.
Exactly. So, so many opportunities out there, and the need's great. So, we need more hands to help us do service, to get out there, and just improve the community.
Well, I was going to ask, but I have to say, I definitely went to that father-daughter dance growing up here in the city. So thank you all for the work that you've been doing. So tell me a little bit, like, what's the next event coming up that people should know about? And I think I just saw the Couch to 5K completion happen, so that's exciting.
You want to?
No, you go ahead.
So actually, kind of tied to that, we were brainstorming and actually came up with another great idea. We don't have the details yet, so check out our Facebook page. Exactly. But no, so like I said, one of our causes is diabetes, and even though we don't promote that, I mean that's actually one of the causes why we do the Couch to 5K. Diabetes is a major concern issue. 38 million people in America have diabetes, and another 84 million are at risk of getting type 2 diabetes. And so the best way to prevent that or cure it is through eating well and physical activity. So the Couch to 5K actually gets people up and moving. And really, anyone can do it. The people who just completed the Couch to 5K were amazed at what they were able to accomplish over a course of 10 weeks. Just literally getting off the couch and coming running. So connected with that, we're going to start a little weight loss challenge. It's, again, kind of tied towards diabetes to get people moving and healthier through the winter months. So from January to March, and again, details will be forthcoming, we're going to do a little challenge. It'll probably be like a $10 fee to get in, but open to the whole community to basically, there'll be a competition to see who can lose the biggest percentage of weight during that 3-month period. And the money that's raised is going to go 50-50. Half it's going to be a prize for the person who loses the most weight. The other half is going to go to fund some of our diabetes causes, like sending kids to diabetes camp to learn to manage their diabetes.
Wow, well, I really love the creativity of the ideas and the events and the way you're engaging the community. I'm just so impressed. Is there anything, final words you want to make sure people know about the organization, or where they can find more info on the website, or?
Well, we do have a Facebook page. You could find us on Facebook, or...
Yeah, so right now, we're getting the website up and running, but now the Marlborough Lions Club on Facebook is the best way. We do have a phone number if you need more information, 774-369-0088. Or you can email us at info@marlborough-lions.com.
Well, Stephen and Sharon, thank you so much for your time. Back to you, Ryan.
Oh, thank you. Was that a little snide hint that maybe I should do that weight loss challenge? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, we've got the Rotary Club of Marlborough, another terrific group. We have Mark Vital and Sebastian Cordoba. Welcome to our first ever nonprofit Neighbors Night.
It's great to be here.
Rotary has been around, another long-standing organization that's been a part of this community for a very long time. What do you do?
Well, it started
it's a loaded question.
Yeah, it sure is. It started over 100 years ago here in town. And basically our motto is service above self. So we have served those in need in the greater Marlborough area for over 100 years.
Wow.
Just about doing anything and everything that we can do to help them.
So that's a large blanket.
Sure
Are there any particular events or different charities or things that you fund throughout the year?
Well, we're actually going to have the turkey shoot this Saturday, which is a very big event here in town.
What's a turkey shoot? Now, I've heard this thrown around.
Yes.
Maybe this is why you're here, to explain to me what a turkey shoot is.
And we're not actually throwing turkeys, and we're not shooting them, but Mark, I think you can...
No, it's basically a whole bunch of folks show up at Assabet, and it's a gigantic raffle.
Okay.
So we sell tickets. We run around the place like a turkey, selling tickets for $1, and people will win prizes. And I think we have over 200 prizes that people can win during the night.
Wow. Throughout the year, what other big events does the Rotary have that people can check out?
Sure. In a couple weeks from now, on the 10th of December, we are doing the polar plunge to fight against polio.
Wow.
So anyone who would like to go down to Memorial Beach and jump into the lake with me on December 10th.
But raise some money first before.
Raise,
Don't just go. You got to bring the money.
Right? But it's a great experience.
Yeah.
So we're going to go down there and hopefully raise some money to one of the things that Rotary does internationally with the 1.4 million Rotarians across the globe. We're trying to eradicate polio, and we've come close a couple times.
Sure.
But every now and then it brings up its evil head again. So we're trying.
How often does Rotary meet? Is it a monthly meeting?
So we actually meet every Thursday at Bolton Street Tavern at noon. So please come on down. We'd love to have you. Grab some food, have a beverage with us, and network a little bit and get to know
what
us.
happens during these meetings?
So we get to know all the different activities, kind of what we're planning on doing throughout the year. It's a great opportunity to get out there, kind of network, get to know the community, and successful business owners who are really dedicated on giving back to the community.
For people that might want to get involved, what's the website? Where can they reach out? Are you going to give your cell phone right now?
No.
So the Marlborough Rotary Club.org, that's a great website.
Sure
and then
is.
we have a Facebook page as well. So it's a great, and then we Instagram actually recently, which we opened up. So great opportunity for you guys to connect.
Are you seeking new members? What's your membership like right now?
Well, we're one of the clubs that actually is growing. We've grown maybe about 30–40% over the last 18 months.
Wow.
So I think it's
what do you
because we
think?
reach out to
I'm
everywhere.
curious for other groups that are trying to build up.
Sure.
What do you think has led to that growth?
Well, part of it is just looking at niches that folks don't take advantage of. So, for example, I said, like the empty nesters. I work in the school system. There's a lot of great parents here in Marlborough that dedicate a lot of time to chauffeuring their kids around and going to soccer practice and this and that and everything. But then once the kids go off to college, they have all this extra time on their hands.
Yeah.
Well, join the Marlborough Rotary.
That's a great opportunity because you can socialize, yet you're still behind a fantastic mission that's doing great philanthropic things for the community.
We've done scholarships and reality fairs and recycle events. I mean, there is just a huge umbrella that we reach out to the community for.
Do you have any favorite Rotary memories from your time serving?
You know, for me, it's really dear to my heart what we do for the Marlborough High School and the school systems, because me growing up here in Marlborough, I was part of the reality fair. So it's pretty neat.
Explain what a reality fair is real quick.
The reality fair, what it is pretty neat. It's all the high schoolers basically get an opportunity to live life. So they get cash, pretending of real salary, and then they go out into real life and, go out and buy a house or rent, to buy houses, make bad decisions or good decisions. And the idea is for them to learn from it, which is pretty neat, right?
It's like the game of life.
Like Monopoly in life, yes.
But what's also what the Rotary has done is join with so many other local businesses to actually give real budgets and real information, which can really hit those kids in a hard way when they're picking the most expensive apartment and maybe they should be grabbing some roommates.
Yes, there you go.
And to answer your question, there's many moments. I'm the president, so I obviously have a lot of memories of the Rotary. But one that just really means an awful lot to me is when we drop off a meal to somebody who's alone during the holidays. We're going to be dropping off meals for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. Many of them are families at the schools that the schools have already identified as families in great need. So when you show up there with a nice holiday meal and know that that's the only meal they're going to have, it means an awful lot.
I knew this show would get me in the spirit of Thanksgiving. I'm so grateful to have groups like the Rotary here in Marlborough, and the community, I'm sure, is very grateful to have you as well. So get involved. This is another fantastic group doing great stuff here in this wonderful city. Hey, Samantha, who do you have next over there?
Hello, I am here with Chris Duane from Boys and Girls Club of MetroWest. Please fill me in on this amazing organization and what you all have been up to.
Well, first of all, I appreciate it. Now, I'm holding the microphone, so I can only talk with one hand. Usually I talk with both. But it's really great to be here, the opportunity to be able to speak about Boys and Girls Club. And I mean, you grew up in the city, you know. The Boys and Girls Club has been here for over 78 years. And Marlborough is the anchor. Now, we're called MetroWest because we're in Hudson and we're in Framingham as well, but Marlborough has been the anchor. And if you talk to some of the seasoned individuals, not the old individuals, the seasoned individuals in Marlborough, they'll call it the Boys Club.
They do call it the Boys Club.
It is the Boys Club, but now it's the Boys and Girls Club, which is great. And we're up on Pleasant Street, and we're in the old Mitchell School. And we're open 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. at night. We've got licensed preschool programs for the little guys. We do after-school programs. It's a youth development. And in that building, it's not licensed childcare, it's youth development. There's definitely a lot of fostering independence, but these kids can come to us grades 1 all the way through in high school at night. So there's a lot going on in that building. And we did sort of make it through the pandemic, and we were able.
You all were amazing helping out.
Well, we tried. And you know, when you can't serve as many kids, but we became an official remote learning site so that parents could still send their kids to us and they could still go off to work and know that their kids are doing what everybody else is doing in remote learning, which is what it is. But we at least were able to do that. And the other piece that we're also doing is we've got the licensed before and after school programs that are in the schools, the public schools. So we're in the 4 elementary schools, which is great. And having that partnership with the school system is absolutely wonderful. So we just keep plugging.
So you're everywhere. This is amazing. And I know you recently had a gala in October. Tell me about this gala.
It was great. Now, first of all, you have to remember that we're coming off COVID, so we've been doing virtual fundraising events for the past 2 years. And to be back in person is completely different and absolutely wonderful. And virtual events have really, you know, they did their purpose, they served their purpose, but they're done. So being able to be back in person was absolutely wonderful. So we were able to do it. We were able to raise, we net $110,000 from the gala. And, you know, that goes right back into programs and services for the kids. So it was absolutely wonderful. And
that's great to hear.
In person. So more and more in person, which is great.
And I'm curious too, so, you know, we mentioned I grew up in the city, so I know how many people knew the Boys and Girls Club as such a resource and a fun place to be, and how many individuals are being served currently. I'm sure it's growing as time has gone on.
It is, and it's funny because you talk pre-pandemic numbers versus what it is, and it's growing back to where it was. But, you know, pre-pandemic, we were serving up to 220 kids a day in the building. And that is, you know, it's wonderful because we know what these kids are doing. They're involved in activities. They're involved in sports and fitness. They're involved in the arts. They're involved in, you know, computer education, homework education, career development. So we know that they're doing some great activities and some great work that's fostering their independence and moving them forward. So that's great. So we're trying to get back to that 200, 220. A little bit difficult. There's, you know, that transportation issue that happens right now everywhere. But once we get that solved and resolved and able to square that away, then we'll be able to put those 220 kids back in the building.
Well, I'm sure that those numbers will go up as time has gone on. And I'm curious, if someone wants to get involved, right, how can they volunteer? How can they be part of the organization? You know, in addition to attending the gala you mentioned and other events, what can we do to help support you?
So absolutely, now that we're over the, no, sorry, not over, but we're through this pandemic piece, we're now taking volunteers back. So we love to have people that are interested in volunteering to work with kids. And it's a lot of one-on-one, one-on-three. You know, we have a lot of individuals, particularly retired individuals who like to come in and do art projects with the kids. We have people that are coming out of businesses that want to do STEM activities with kids. And they can come in, we can set them up with 1, 2, 5 kids, and they can do these projects with the kids, and it makes them feel good, and the kids are definitely feeling good and learning something. So lots of ways.
It's so incredible. I feel like I've gone to so many events at the facility and seen the work in action, and we were just so grateful. Is there anything else you want to let folks know about the organization?
Absolutely. We have one more, and it's on November 30th, and it's at 5 p.m., and it's our
notes.
Grand opening of the brand new tech center and multi-purpose room. So Yawkey Foundation has invested in Boys and Girls Club MetroWest, and we did a complete renovation of the space and the equipment that's in there. So grand opening is November 30th, 5 p.m., Marlborough Clubhouse, 169 Pleasant Street. Would love to have people attending.
Okay, well, I'm going to mark it in my calendar
There you
as I
go.
have right now, but thank you so much for being here. You're like an institution. You've done so much for the city of Marlborough, the MetroWest area, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Absolutely. Back to you, Ryan.
And WMCT-TV is going to be at that grand opening too. I hope.
It's pretty exciting.
It's really awesome. I can't wait to see this brand new space. Now what? We can't get rid of you, huh, Mark?
No, unfortunately, I wear many hats.
Mark has done a full costume change, and he's going to tell me why. What organization are you representing now?
I'm humbly here tonight to talk about Sweats for Vets. It's an organization I feel very dear about. Our veterans have done so much for us, and through Sweats for Vets, people can help them.
What is Sweats for Vets?
So Sweats for Vets is now going into its 13th year, is an organization that basically collects Boston teams' hoodies, and then they all get individually wrapped. The sizes are put on, and they get delivered to all these homeless shelters around New England, New York, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Michigan.
I think what's fantastic about it is there's an extra level of respect and admiration by not just buying a generic sweatshirt, a team sweatshirt,
Sure, right.
an army sweatshirt, something that has significance to the person who's going to wear
no
it.
matter what their background, whether it's mental illness or substance abuse, they still want the world to know that they're a Patriot fan or a Red Sox fan.
Yeah.
And if you drive through Boston and care to see the homeless, because they're there, a lot of people don't see them, but they're there. Oftentimes you can tell which one are veterans because they're wearing that Patriot sweatshirt over a parka or a trench coat. It's not a fashion statement, but they want the world to know that they're a Boston fan.
What do you think that connection is with sports and with veterans?
Sports is a link in many different ways with vets. In particular, it gives them that sense of pride. You know, they don't have anything else in some cases. So that I always say that the hoodie doesn't just provide warmth, but it gives them a little bit of pride, and pride leads to hope.
It's unfortunate that some of the residents and that should probably have the most pride, people that have served our country and have sometimes suffered greatly because of it, are in such dire circumstances.
Unfortunately.
Do you have any favorite memories of your time?
You know, it's funny. You know, I have a lot of memories, as you can well imagine. My mom lived 365 days for Christmas, and it was a big deal in my household growing up. Great memories. But it wasn't, I really didn't appreciate Christmas or enjoy Christmas to its fullest until I spent it in a homeless shelter on Christmas morning.
Wow.
And going to the New England Center for Homeless Vets in Boston is where I typically go on Christmas morning. And going there and passing out the sweatshirts right before their Christmas dinner just means, it really does bring home the true meaning of Christmas.
Where do you think your urge to be so giving came from?
My mother,
Your mother?
And her brother. You know, they grew up in a generation where they didn't have a whole lot. So my mother gave a lot to us as her children. And then, you know, I just feel blessed that I have so much in my own life, and any opportunities that I can give to others, it just makes me feel a whole lot better.
As we come up on Thanksgiving next week, how will Sweats for Vets, will they be doing anything for that?
Yeah, no, Marlborough, all those different places that I told you about, now some of them are supported by corporations, but most of it, probably 80 to 90% of all the support for Sweats for Vets on almost a national level comes from Marlborough and maybe a couple of the surrounding towns.
How long has Sweats for Vets been
13
around?
years, and I have some of the organizations that were here tonight are regular contributors to Sweats for Vets as part of their service, because they know that 100%, it's one of those rare nonprofit organizations where 100% of every gift goes directly to the vet.
I think one of the best things that's coming out of this evening to me is seeing that there's no contribution too big or too small.
No.
Everything counts. And for some of these organizations, you can just show up. You don't have to take money out of your pocket to make a positive impact.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. What can people do to contribute to Sweats for Vets?
Well, there's a number of ways locally. They can always, there's a number of drop-offs at La Shoe, at Tackle Box, at Finnegan's and Hudson.
And what specifically are you looking for?
Boston team sweatshirts is the
New.
first, the new ones, yeah. And then, but people I remember one time a vet that was older than I am crying because he got a pair of socks. He just got a warm pair of socks. That's all, and he started crying. So people oftentimes will give me, if they give me socks and gloves and hats and scarves, I'll make sure that they get to the vets as well. And then I told you that every one of them has to get wrapped. So just about every Boy Scout, Girl Scout, church group all around Marlborough ends up, hey, can we wrap sweats? Even companies come down and say, hey, we want to do this as part of our staff party. So I'll drop off 50 sweats and they'll wrap them and I'll pick them up the next day.
Wow, that's a whole
lot of
line you've got there.
Yeah, but it works out great. It takes a village.
Mark, it's been wonderful having you here on our first ever nonprofit Neighbors Night. And once again, where can people find information on Sweats for Vets?
Sweats for Vets, sweats, the number 4 vets.com.
There we go.
There you go. I should know that easier.
Thank you so much.
I very much appreciate it.
Okay. Samantha.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Samantha, who do you have next?
Hello, I am here with Betsy Connolly from New Horizons at Marlborough. Thank you so much for being here. Tell me about New Horizons and what the organization does and maybe its history here in Marlborough.
Thanks for having me. Well, we're a large community, 400 apartments. We've got assisted living, independent living, and memory care. Many people maybe in Marlborough don't know that we're part of the Cummings Foundation, and a few people here today mentioned that they had received some nonprofit funding from the Cummings Foundation. We benefit significantly from Cummings. Some of the ways are we're able to keep our costs down because we have no debt. We have no interest cost on any of our buildings. Bill Cummings and the folks up in Woburn are wonderful in that they really let us spend what we need to spend to do the business right. And in that way, we're so lucky. I mean, if you think about, we serve about 1,000 meals a day.
Oh, wow.
To residents. And we virtually operate without a budget. I mean, we have obviously standards that we try to put in place, but we're not measured every day by how much money we're spending. The philosophy is to do what we need to do to give the residents the best experience they can have.
Well, I so appreciate that. And I must say, I used to work at New Horizons when I was in high school, moving onward for several years, and I was just such a fan, and it was just a great community to work for. And I'm curious too, like, if people want to get involved, what can they do? I know there was Country Fair Day. Like, tell us a little bit about maybe some of the ways that you could support New Horizons at Marlborough.
Sure. Well, the first thing is we're always looking for people. You mentioned that you worked as a server. We're always looking for servers. We have a lot of Marlborough high school students who work in the dining area. We're always looking for people in the kitchen, cooks, and I think you mentioned that you worked as a community services rep.
Yes, I had made my way to different parts of the org, yes.
Right, so that's a really important part of what we do. Those folks that we also call red shirts are people who help the residents get comfortable on a day-to-day basis with everything that they need, from how do I get from point A to point B when they first move in? Or how can you help me with my iPad? Or help me call my insurance company because I have a problem with such and such and my daughter isn't in town to be able to help me. So, we use lots of volunteers for all kinds of things. During COVID, we had a few less volunteers, but we're definitely in the middle of trying to rebuild our volunteer effort. So anyone who lives in Marlborough that wants to work with great seniors who have a lot to offer, please come and come and see us. Stop by the front desk and ask for Betsy, the director.
Yes, and it's such a beautiful facility, and maybe if you could tell folks where it's located and where they can find out more information.
Sure, we're right across from St. Matthias Church, and you can go to countrycommunities.com and see all about our community. Also, we have a Facebook page and we're on Instagram as well.
Wonderful, and I know you serve such a wide variety of individuals at the facility, and it's just an incredible organization overall. Is there anything, final words you'd like to tell folks about what you all do or something that they might not already know?
Sure, lots of assisted livings help seniors have better lives, and we certainly do that. But I think one of the special things that we offer is a real knowledge of the healthcare system, how to get the support you need. We work with everyone that lives there, no matter what their needs are, and with their families to just try to make sure they can get the health care that they need, and, live the best life they can.
Well, thank you so much, Betsy. I'm so glad I got to see you again, and thank you for all your hard work and making New Horizons at Marlborough the best it can be. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Ryan, we're back to you.
Okay, I'm here with Sean Rose, who is the president and CGO of Thrive Support and Advocacy. And I met Sean because WMCT-TV had the awesome opportunity to attend and film a fantastic all-inclusive prom that Thrive did last year. And I believe you're going to do it again next year. But let's rewind.
Sure.
What is Thrive Support and Advocacy, and how does it serve Marlborough and the surrounding communities?
Thrive Support and Advocacy is embarking on its 50-year anniversary in 2023.
Congratulations.
It was started by a bunch of families at the time, disabled individuals were put into state hospitals, and they said, absolutely not. We're keeping them home. We're going to care for them. And over the years, it's evolved into the wonderful organization that it is today. We have 4 group homes, elderly group homes in Marlborough. We have family support services in Worcester and all over, and in-home services between Worcester and Marlborough. I think what people know us for is our social and recreation activities.
Fantastic.
I don't even think many people even know that we have group homes in Marlborough, but yes, we're very, very busy these days at Thrive.
And speaking of being busy, you have a few really big announcements. Let's start with the food pantry.
Yes. So we realize that in the community in which we serve, that 70% of those individuals suffer from elements of food insecurity, receiving SNAP benefits. And so we partnered with Worcester Polytechnical Institute to come up with a plan to address food insecurity issues in the Thrive community with our Thrivers, caregivers, and families. And we opened our doors up last month to Flourish at Thrive in Worcester. That is serving a very specialty food pantry that's serving our individuals in the Marlborough and the Worcester region. The generosity of so many people, the place is absolutely filled up. We have hundreds of turkeys at the moment. I mean, we are firing on all cylinders.
So that's Flourish at Thrive. Now we also have Triumph at Thrive, another new endeavor.
Yes. So Ryan, this is breaking news actually, because we haven't really put the announcement out there yet. So proud to announce that we are awarded a community-based day services contract here in Marlborough that will come out of Boston Post Road office. And in effect, that community-based day service entity, what it does is it takes individuals during the day and gives them internships and job placements and really puts them on the path to permanent employment. So we are over the moon at that, and the name Triumph is really symbolic of our individuals really overcoming adversity.
I was witness to seeing all of these individuals triumph at that prom. It was a really fantastic experience, and it's coming up again this year, right?
Yes, it is coming up, and I hope that you and Council Perlman will come back again. It was the red carpet was amazing. The pictures have not stopped from the moment that prom ended until like as early as this morning. People keep firing them out left and right. It's just such an incredible event, and I think appreciate you all and Samantha coming through and making it even more special. As we know, individuals in our community haven't always had the best experiences at proms, or maybe never went to prom at all. And so now we're anticipating that we had 120 or so. We're anticipating a far bigger number than that this coming year. So I hope you and Samantha are ready for it.
I hope so. Now, we talk about the prom, but there are so many activities. You did a bowl-a-thon. You do a million things throughout the year. How can people get involved to help support Thrive and the awesome work you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is amazing, icanthrive.com, and it's just, get on there and just fish around. There's our social and rec newsletter is up. So all the amazing things that we're doing between November and December now, it's an October quarterly offering, but it's up there. And so with any events, there's anybody wants to come and volunteer, come help. We're opening the doors a little bit more because COVID has dissipated a little bit. Fingers crossed that it remains. But yeah, hit the website, call us 508-485-4227.
Yes.
If you need our help. If you are struggling and you're a caregiver for someone who's disabled or a family member who's disabled who's really having a hard time, please reach out to us, and we'll do everything that we can to provide you with whatever resources that are necessary to help improve your quality of life or whatever challenge you have there too.
For those who are watching, Thrive does not just serve Marlborough. Where else do you
Yeah, so we are Marlborough, and our family support center is in Worcester, and so we're Worcester County, we're Metro now, and we're just continuing to grow and evolve. And this community-based day services program is going to even increase our circumference, and it just makes us really happy because it means that we're doing a good job in supporting caregivers and individuals who suffer with disabilities and meeting their needs, that people feel confident in our ability to continue to ask us to do more.
I'm so glad you could be here on our first ever nonprofit Neighbors Night. I'm so thrilled that we had so many fantastic groups that could join us, and I'm absolutely inspired to go out and continue supporting whatever WMCT-TV can do to help support these causes. We'll be there. Be in touch, Sean.
Thanks so much.
Okay, Samantha, I'm coming your way. We're gonna close this show out.
All right, I've been waiting for you.
I'm throwing things. I threw the clipboard down. Why do you hold on to that microphone down? We don't need it. No, Samantha, this was such a pleasure. I'm so happy you were able to do this with me tonight.
I mean, what a treat. I knew some organizations, but I really didn't even know everything that they were doing, responsibilities, their events, their programming. This is such a treat, and we are just so lucky to have them all here in Marlborough.
I hope we can do it again next year.
Make it annual? I think so.
Should we mark the calendar? Thank you to all of the groups that came out this evening. We could not have done it without people showing up. So continue to share this content and share this video, and follow WMCT-TV on Facebook and on Instagram, and check out our website. We love this community. I love working for this community, and I hope we can continue to serve the best we can. Everyone out there, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Take care.